Getting started in investing is a process that often begins with curiosity, enthusiasm, and a fair amount of trial and error. I started investing when I was 11, a time when most kids are still figuring out what they really want for their future. My first experience with investing was quite unpretentious and immature. I jumped into the stock market with a vague idea that it could be exciting and perhaps profitable. However, my approach was based more on intuition than on a solid strategy. For years, I procrastinated on developing a structured foundation. My focus was more on trying to time the market, analyzing charts, and making impulsive choices based on daily price fluctuations. This initial phase was fun and, in a way, formative, as it gave me a practical introduction to the world of investing. However, despite the enthusiasm, the financial results were practically non-existent. I continued on this path until I was 19, always searching for that magic formula that would bring me big profits quickly. During this period, I devoured investment books, spending hours in the public library, absorbing as much knowledge as possible. I read about various concepts such as diversification, risk, and long-term strategies, but even with all this reading, something still didn't fit. I lacked a clear structure, a consistent plan that would allow me to apply everything I had learned in an organized and efficient manner. This period of experimentation was essential for my development, but it also showed me that success in the world of investing does not come from disorganized attempts or the search for shortcuts. I realized that, to build a solid foundation and achieve real profits, it took more than enthusiasm. It required discipline, patience, and a well-defined strategy based on economic fundamentals and not just momentary trends. Book The Intelligent Investor is widely recognized as one of the most important texts on long-term investing. First published in 1949, its relevance remains to this day. When I first read it, I was deeply impacted, especially by two chapters that shaped my view of how to approach the financial markets in a rational and disciplined way. These chapters present concepts that seem simple, but that, applied correctly, can transform the way we approach investing. The first principle of stock investing is to look beyond the simple quotes and charts we see on screens. A stock is not just an abstract symbol or an opportunity for quick speculation, but represents a tangible stake in a real company that operates in the business world. When you buy a stock, you are actually acquiring a fraction of the ownership of that company, which means that you become, albeit in a small way, a part owner of the company. That's why it's crucial to approach investing with the mindset of a business investor, evaluating the company as if you were considering buying it outright. To make an informed decision, it is essential to understand the fundamentals of the company. This includes analyzing its position in the market. What market share does the company have, and how does it compare to its competitors? It is also necessary to study its management strategy, as the vision and decisions of executives can determine the future direction of the company. The competitiveness of the company is another key factor, as the ability to differentiate itself and thrive in a competitive environment defines its long-term sustainability. Furthermore, the industry in which a company operates has a significant influence on its performance. More innovative or expanding industries may offer greater opportunities for growth, while more saturated or stagnant industries may present greater risks. Analyzing a company's financial results is also essential. This involves examining financial statements such as the balance sheet, income statement, and cash flow statement to understand its financial health, its ability to generate profits, and its ability to weather economic adversities. Based on this detailed analysis, it becomes possible to determine whether the company has a promising future. Only when all these factors are considered can you decide whether buying shares in that company is a good investment. Investing in stocks, therefore, is more than just following trends or betting on numbers. It is an informed decision based on a careful assessment of a real entity with its own operations, challenges, and opportunities. This level of in-depth understanding allows the investor to make more informed decisions and build a portfolio that reflects not only short-term opportunities, but also the potential for sustainable growth in the long term. The second principle, discussed by Benjamin Graham, is crucial to any investor's success, especially when it comes to reacting to stock market fluctuations. The stock market, by its very nature, is volatile. Stock prices can rise and fall unpredictably due to a variety of factors, including economic and political changes, global events, and even market rumors. These fluctuations often trigger emotional reactions in investors, who may end up making rash decisions based on fear or greed rather than rational analysis. Emotional behavior is one of the investor's greatest enemies, as it can lead to buying stocks when prices are high, for fear of missing out on an opportunity, or selling in panic when prices fall, avoiding a larger loss that would often not be permanent. Graham introduced the concept of Mr. Market to help investors view the market in a more rational and less emotional way. Mr. Market is an imaginary figure who offers a different price for the stocks that the investor owns every day. Sometimes he is in a good mood and offers a very high price, and other times he is pessimistic and offers a very low price. The great thing about this metaphor is that Mr. Market is completely unpredictable, and his moods fluctuate for no apparent logical reason. He is guided by emotions, like many investors, but what Graham teaches is that investors should not be guided by these swings. The trick is to ignore Mr. Market most of the time. The smart investor should view these price fluctuations as opportunities, not threats. When the market is rising and Mr. Market is offering very high prices, it may not be the best time to buy, because the stock may be overvalued. On the other hand, when the market is falling and Mr. Market is offering a low price, this may represent an opportunity to acquire good companies at a reduced price. However, it is important to remember that a low price alone does not justify a purchase. Analyzing the fundamentals of the company is still essential. The focus should not be on the daily or weekly changes in the stock price, but rather on the intrinsic value of the company and how that value can grow over time. Investors must also understand that the stock market is cyclical. It goes through periods of excessive optimism, when prices soar, and moments of pessimism, when prices fall drastically. Knowing how to wait for the right moment and not react impulsively to these cycles is one of the biggest challenges for investors. Patience is often rewarded, as the market ends up correcting its distortions, and the shares of good companies tend to reflect their true value in the long term. Another crucial point Graham makes is that investors should not try to predict the market or follow the masses. The temptation to follow trends can be great, but this often leads to poor decisions, as the market can be irrational in the short term. Instead, investors should be disciplined and focus on their long-term strategy, ignoring the daily market noise. The key is to maintain a clear and objective view, assessing the real value of assets without being swayed by momentary fluctuations. The second principle teaches that the investor must adopt a calm and calculated approach to market fluctuations, resisting the temptation to act based on fear or excitement. Price fluctuations are natural and inevitable, but the wise investor learns to use them to his advantage, buying when there is a real opportunity and avoiding acting impulsively in the face of volatility. The third principle, often considered one of the most important in the world of investing, is the concept of margin of safety. This principle revolves around the idea of protecting against uncertainty and errors in judgment that are inevitable in any market analysis. In the financial world, conditions can change rapidly, and even the most experienced investors can make mistakes in their predictions. Therefore, the margin of safety acts as an extra layer of protection, reducing the risk of significant losses. The essence of the margin of safety lies in the difference between a company's intrinsic value and the price at which its shares are being traded in the market. Intrinsic value, in turn, is the true assessment of what the company is worth, taking into account its assets, cash flows, and other fundamental indicators. Often, the price of a stock can fluctuate due to external factors, speculation, or market emotions, causing the market price to deviate from its true value. An investor seeking safety should therefore wait until there is a substantial difference between the intrinsic value of the company and the price of its shares, that is, until the shares are being traded at a price much lower than what the company is actually worth. This approach has a clear goal: to provide additional protection against potential setbacks. If, for example, the market experiences a period of volatility or the company faces unforeseen challenges, such as an economic downturn or changes in its management, the margin of safety can act as a buffer. By purchasing shares with a significant margin of safety, the investor puts himself in a position where, even if the share price drops temporarily or unexpected problems arise, he is still in a zone of lower risk. In this way, the safety margin becomes an essential tool to protect the investor's capital, helping to minimize losses in adverse situations. The focus is on not taking major risks, preferring patience and discipline to wait for the right moment to invest. For long-term investors, this is a strategy that promotes greater resilience in the face of market fluctuations, in addition to increasing the chances of sustainable returns over time. When evaluating businesses with competitive advantages, the focus is on identifying companies that have unique and sustainable characteristics that differentiate them from their competitors and give them a prominent position in the market. These advantages can arise from a variety of factors, such as technological innovations, exclusive patents, strongly consolidated brands, or even operational efficiency that competitors cannot match. When we talk about lasting competitive advantage, we are referring to a protection that allows the company to maintain its leadership position and obtain consistent returns over time, even in adverse scenarios. One of the most visible forms of this advantage is the power of a strong brand, such as Coca-Cola. The Coca-Cola brand goes beyond the product itself. It is embedded in the minds of consumers in an almost emotional way, associated with moments of celebration, joy, and tradition. This connection creates a significant barrier to new entrants to the market, as Coca-Cola competes not just on taste or price, but on the experience it provides. This type of competitive advantage is extremely valuable because even as the beverage market becomes saturated, the company continues to dominate, securing a solid base of loyal customers. Another example of competitive advantage is patents, which grant exclusivity to certain products or processes for a period of time. Companies that hold patents, especially in sectors such as technology and pharmaceuticals, can exploit their temporary monopoly to maximize profits without the direct pressure of competitors imitating their products. This gives them a wider profit margin and greater predictability in their return on investment. However, it is not enough for a company to have a solid competitive advantage. It is equally important that it is managed by honest and competent people. Management integrity is a crucial factor, as even the most promising businesses can be compromised by inappropriate decisions or unethical practices. The competence of the leadership team is also essential, as it is these people who must effectively direct the company, making the most of its competitive advantages and making strategic decisions that promote sustainable growth. Therefore, when evaluating businesses with competitive advantages, investors should adopt a broad view that encompasses both the factors that provide a solid market position and the management's ability to capitalize on these strengths in a responsible and efficient manner. Investing in companies with this profile not only offers greater security, but also boosts returns in the long term, since these organizations are more likely to maintain or even expand their advantages over the years.